Chapter 31 The First Batch of Wine. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After seeing that Jin Shuya's salary and benefits were fine, Liu Sen asked a question he had wanted to know since they met. What is your relationship with Uncle Jin? He is my father. He thinks highly of you. You have a talent that is urgently needed here, so he recommended it to me and asked me to come and have a chat if I am interested to see if it is suitable. Jin Shuya said with a smile, and also winked at Liu Sen playfully. Liu Sen seemed to be electrocuted and touched his nose awkwardly. Uncle Jin really didn't tell me. By the way, do you have any more of that wine? My dad only has one bottle left. He keeps a close eye on it like a treasure and won't let me touch it. Jin Shuya mentioned Qingfeng wine. She liked it very much after drinking it and wanted to get some more from Liu Sr. There are still some. I'll give you a box first. If you want more later, you have to wait until the winery officially opens for production. Liu Sen gave a box directly. Uncle Jin probably didn't feel embarrassed to ask him for more after he finished drinking it. He probably knew that there was not much left now and it was mainly used for sales and marketing. Do you have anything else to do now? If not, follow me to my house to get the wine. No problem, I'll follow you to get it. Jin Shuya didn't hesitate to pick up her bag and followed him out. Liu Sen and his friends took Jin Shuya back home, and Jin Shuya was envious when she saw the house, although Liu Sen wanted to invite her to dinner here because of Uncle Jin. After all, it was their first meeting and they were not very familiar with each other, so she left with a box of wine. Liu Sen directly asked Dean Dan to cooperate with Kai Chongqing, Jin Shuya, and Deng Yaluan to recruit employees from their respective departments, while he continued to study the next generation of wine koji enzymes. The next day, Deng Yaluan arrived in Rongcheng. Yarn, you are finally here. Liu Sen stepped forward and hugged Deng Yaluan, patting him on the back. The last bit of work is finally done, and I have found a lot of sales elites to come. Deng Yaluan heard what Liu Sen said and punched Liu Sen in the chest. Ha ha ha. The two laughed. Liu Sen took him to the winery for a tour. The factory building was basically completed and the equipment and instruments were also transported here. Asen, you are really generous. You have such a big show. Deng Yaluan couldn't help but sighed when he saw such a large factory area and the office building under construction. If you were petty, I wouldn't dare to ask you to come. Then he took Deng Yaluan to meet Kai Chongqing, who would work with him in the future. The two had contacted each other through the phone number Liu Sen gave them before, and discussed the company's affairs. They all knew that he was a person with ideas and abilities. Then he sent Deng Yaluan to the suite that he had rented a few days ago. In the evening, Liu Sen held a welcoming banquet at home, and that night he got Deng Yaluan drunk. Drunk people are particularly heavy, but it is not difficult for Liu Sen at all. He was sent back to his residence. When there were people watching along the way, he was more careful. When there were no people and no cameras, Liu Sen just carried him with one hand and walked. A few days later, the winery's factory was completed, personnel for various positions had been recruited, various equipment had been installed and debugged, and the new production line had been assembled. Liu Sen brought his number 1 wine yeast and type A enzyme, and directed all personnel to start production. A few days later, all the people in the company gathered in the factory. Liu Sen, Liu Ying, Kai Chongqing, Jin Shuya, Deng Yaluan and other employees gathered around the wine outlet. Finally, the wine was produced. Industrial production was a little slower than Liu Sen in the workshop, but this winemaking speed also shocked Kai Chongqing and other winemakers with rich experience. Everyone tasted the new wine, which was very good. Many people who had not tasted it could not stop praising it, and they were full of confidence in the future of the company. Deng Yaluan and others had tasted Liu Sen's own wine before, and now they put down their hearts. After all, there is still a big difference between self-brewing and industrial production. This industrial wine tastes better than the previous self-brewed Qingfeng wine. I don't know who cheered first, and gradually more and more people cheered, one after another. Kai Chongqing was also very happy, but he was still completing the follow-up work. After some calculations, the output ratio of grain and wine was 1 minute and 1.4 seconds, that is, 1 gene of grain can produce 1.4 gene of wine. This wine output rate was really high. Kai Chongqing couldn't believe it, and calculated again. Other professional and technical personnel also kept calculating, but the results were the same. Kai Chongqing looked incredulous, and walked to Liu Sen with excitement, and handed the paper in his hand to Liu Sr. After reading it, Liu Sen nodded. Without any fluctuations, everything was as expected, there was no big deviation, so all employees returned to their respective jobs. Kai Chongqing saw Liu Sen's situation, not knowing whether he didn't understand or had known about it for a long time, but he immediately took all the executives to the office. "Mr. Liu, is this true?" Kai Chongqing asked excitedly. "What you see is true, believe your eyes," Liu Sen said with a smile. Kai Chongqing saw the expressions of Jin Shuya and the other women and knew that they didn't know what this data meant. After some explanation, I realized the horror of this output ratio. This data shows that the cost will be very low. For example, their first wine, Qingfeng, is priced at 168 yuan, the bottle is 4 yuan, the packaging is about 5 yuan, and the cost of the wine, including labor, is about 2 yuan. The cost of publicity and transportation is only about 10 yuan, then the profit of a bottle of Qingfeng wine is 147, and the net profit is as high as 87.5%. This profit is unimaginable in the 100 yuan wine market. The cost of mass production in the later stage will be lower. Another point is that the wine of their winery does not need to be stored in the cellar. It can be bottled and sold directly after production. The taste is even better than the same price, and as time passes in the bottle, the taste will be improved by several levels again. The stock market talks about liquor technology every day, but that is all false. Their winery is the real epoch-making technological product. Kai Chongqing's inspiring analysis made everyone even more excited. Liu Sen knew that the profit margin of this 100 yuan wine was still far behind that of high-end wine. When his number 2 wine yeast and type B enzyme were synthesized, the profit margin could reach 95 or even higher. Because the first batch needed trial production, it still depended on the final results, so the finished product was only about 10 tons. Now that it has been proven that there is no problem with the first batch of finished products, large-scale production can be started. At present, the winery is fully operational and can produce 100 tons at a time. The production cycle is short due to different processes. The annual output can reach 10,000 tons. This output is already comparable to some domestic midstream wine companies, but of course it is many times worse than the leading wine companies such as Guomao. After all, those have an annual output of tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of tons. At present, Yidian wine industry only has this variety of wine, and there are still many vacant factories. As the number of wines increases, it will definitely be expanded in the future, and the output will also increase significantly. Liu Sen asked Kai Chongqing to arrange workers to fill and package the wine for shipment, and contact the glass factory to produce with all their strength and transport all the wines that have been produced here. The next day, Liu Sen harvested 20,000 bottles of well-packaged wine. Liu Sen called the executives of various banks and financial industries that he met at the previous gathering one by one, informing them that the first batch of wine had been produced and that those who needed it could order it directly, and Liu Sen also brought a batch of wine that had been produced to Uncle Jean, and Xia Hongshan and Chen Tianxiang, the first and second leaders of Rongcheng, tell them the good news, mainly to promote it again. Kai Chongqing contacted the distributors he was familiar with before, and Qingfeng liquor was put on the market, but they were all small channels in Rongcheng and several nearby cities. Deng Yaluan had also been waiting for the company's products for a long time. As soon as he got them, he immediately took a group of sales staff to various cities in southern Jiangsu province. Chapter 32, Promoting Qingfeng Wine. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Deng Yaluan used their previous relationship to gather a group of wine lovers to taste Qingfeng wine at dinner. At Jinling Qingshan Hotel, Deng Yaluan was chatting with people at the table. He took out Qingfeng wine like a treasure, unpacked the box, and poured a glass of wine for everyone. "Brother Sheng, come and try the wine I brought this time. I found it by chance and it attracted me immediately." Liu Sen patted the middle-aged man sitting next to him and said, Come and try it. We have tasted all kinds of wine. Last time, Mr. Su got a box of wine. The taste was okay, but there was too little. There was not enough to share. I hope Brother Deng can bring surprises to everyone this time. Xing Qianqing held the cup to his nose and smelled it. He immediately felt the rich fragrance. I don't know how it tastes. Everyone raised their glasses and drank a sip. They found that it was smooth to the mouth. A stream of heat flowed from the mouth to the stomach. Then they felt warm all over. The face and brain also felt a warmth in an instant, like a breeze. Good wine. After everyone drank a glass, they all exclaimed that it was addictive. Instantly, everyone fixed their eyes on the wine bottle, wanting to see what brand of wine it was, because everyone often tasted wine together. They didn't care about these things at the beginning. After all, the wines tasted each time were good and bad. Only when they liked it, they would pay attention to what kind of wine it was. It can be said that everyone present is a wine lover, but the wine bottles and trademarks they saw were not similar to any on the market, and even the manufacturers had never been heard of. The wine bottle packaging is special, the recognition is so high, and the wine is fresh and elegant. It is indeed a rare good wine. Brother Deng, where is this produced? Xing Qianqing asked after carefully evaluating it. This wine was researched by my brother. The factory has just been built and this is the first batch of wine. Deng Yaluan did not hide it, and directly pointed it out and said it, in this circle, everyone loves wine, and they are relatively famous, so wine companies often contact them and give some fees to help taste and promote wine. However, everyone would not brag about it after taking the money, but taste it sincerely. Good is good, bad is bad. Everyone is a person of status and will not lose their integrity for a little money. Therefore, when Deng Yaluan started to introduce it, no one paid attention. Now they all gathered around and carefully observed the wine bottle and packaging box. At this time, they suddenly found that this wine was actually produced in Rongcheng, next to Jinling. I couldn't help but become more curious. At first, I thought it was a new product launched by a large manufacturer, but I didn't expect it to be produced at home. After seeing the alcohol content of 4.2 degrees, I was also surprised. Generally, low-alcohol wine does not have too much wine aroma, but Qingfeng wine is completely different. The wine aroma is not lower than that of high-alcohol wine, and it is easier to drink, smooth and delicious. If you don't look at the trademark, you really don't know it is a low-alcohol wine. For a while, everyone was talking about this wine, all kinds of advantages and disadvantages. In the end, it was basically all advantages. The disadvantage is that people who want to get drunk probably don't get drunk easily. Soon the party ended, and everyone went back with a box of wine. Some of these people were CEOs, and some were company executives. At this time, Chao Lei had already developed the company's homepage, including all the introductions of the company, including Taoism, Laozi, and spring water, and explained that all the wines produced by Yidian Winery are brewed using ancient methods and technological methods. And the online shopping channel has also been developed. There is only one variety on the homepage of the mall for the time being, which is Qingfeng wine. Click on Qingfeng wine and there will be an introduction. Qingfeng wine is produced in Maoshan, which was called Jinling Difei Mingshan in ancient times, Huayang Jingtian, the first blessed land among the 72 blessed lands of Chinese Taoism, and the 8th cave heaven among the 10 great cave heavens. It is a famous Taoist holy land. Maoshan Taoism has a long history. In ancient times, Emperor Ku Gao Xian's Zhan Shanggong practiced in Fulongdi, Jiuzhu Mountain. Nearly 5,000 years ago, Zhou Yan Guogua Sichao also practiced Taoism in Yuchen Temple, and was later named Taiwei Baoguangzhenren. In the pre-Qin period, Zhenren Liming practiced Taoism in the ancient alchemy courtyard, and the elixir realm still exists. In the Han dynasty, the three brothers of the Mao family in Xianyang, Shangxi practiced Taoism and did good deeds at the foot of Jiuzhu Mountain. During the Eastern Jin dynasty, Gu Hong, a Maoshan native, practiced at Baopu Peak of Maoshan and wrote Bio Puzi, an important work on Taoist religious philosophy and primitive chemical alchemy. Gu Hong is the master of Taoist theory since the Han and Wei dynasties, and was later called the Danding School. Maoshan is the birthplace of the Shangqing school of Taoism, and it is also the place where the Shangqing, Zhengyi, and Xuanzhen schools of Taoism practice and coexist. Our company adopts the formula summarized from the ancient alchemy and the modern high-tech brewing technology. It uses the ancient spring water of the ancient Taoist Mao Shan to unify science and ancient methods and brew wine, Qingfeng wine. Drinking it is like a breeze on your face, soft and long aftertaste. The name is taken from the name of the Taoist boy to explain the source of our company's technology and the road to growth. The unit price of Qingfeng wine is 168 yuan. Note, real liquor technology. Our company has surprises to give away. Technology is everywhere. The website's promotion is completely in accordance with Liu Sen's initial opinion, telling a good story. Nowadays, people like to tell stories. Any obvious variety show is a routine. Since everyone likes it, Liu Sen will tell it to everyone. This introduction and pricing will not affect the price increase of new wines launched in the future. There is growth with stories. Now is the beginning. It is Daotong Qingfeng, and in the future it will be Taiqing, Shangqing, and Yuqing. The corresponding ones are big guys, and the prices are definitely not of the same level. The first batch of 10 tons of wine, totaling 20,000 bottles, was sold out the next day. After receiving Liu Sen's call, people from various banking and financial systems ordered all of them. In order to thank them for their help, Liu Sen gave a 20% discount, but also informed them that the discount was only for 1 month, and 10% off after 1 month. Most of the wine ordered by the banking system will be distributed to internal staff as welfare, and some will be given to their customers. Of the first batch of wines from Yidian wine industry, a part of the wine worth about 280,000 yuan was taken out for promotion, and the remaining sales revenue was about 2.6 million yuan. This first batch of wines is a primer. They will bring fame and reputation to Yidian wine industry. And there will definitely be a big explosion in the later stage. 2 days later, all the machines in the winery were put into use, and the second batch of Qingfeng wine produced 100 tons. Channel dealers in several nearby cities took a part, and the rest were all posted on the company's online mall. Yidian wine industry, Liu Sen's office. Dan looked at the company's sales data and found that they were all the same old promotional sales methods, so he immediately said to Liu Sr. Brother Sen, what we lack now is fame, otherwise the online sales can't be increased, and our wine is positioned for young people, so we can find a few famous ladies on the internet to test our Qingfeng wine. Indeed, they are too conservative, and the times are different now. At present, we are doing peripheral channels and some nearby friends to recommend, and we still need to promote if we want to increase sales nationwide. Yidian must immediately adjust the promotion and sales plan. You are really great. Liu Sen hugged Dan and kissed her. The strong woman in the workplace who was just reasonable and generous, instantly blushed, like a little woman, charming and touching. Chapter 33 Shoko's Madness. You are listening at novelfold.audio. Hello, everyone, I am Xiangzi. Today we are going to evaluate a kind of liquor. This one is provided by the sponsor. I will evaluate it carefully. Everyone knows that I tell the truth. Shoko was only seen bending 2/3 from the table. Everyone, please take a look at this wine box. The packaging is ordinary. On the front of the box is the back of a green mountain. There is also a building on the mountain, which looks a bit like a Taoist temple. There are 2 big characters in the middle, Qingfeng, which seems to be the name of the wine. This name seems to be the same as the Taoist boy from Wuzhuang Temple in Journey to the West that I know. Yes, it should be this one. The wine box is much shorter than a box of wine usually seen in the market. Xiangzi said and moved another box of wine to the side, but the name of the wine was hidden. In comparison, it is indeed 3 inches shorter. 1%, is the packaging of this wine simple? Here, let's open it and take a look inside. Xiangzi started to open the box with a knife, and soon took out one of the bottles of wine. The packaging of the single bottle was also shorter and a little flat. It also had a Taoist temple on the background of green mountains on the wine box, and the word Qingfeng in the middle, which is traditional black and white ink painting style. Although the packaging is not very luxurious, it does look quite elegant and comfortable. He said while holding the wine box close to the camera. Xiangzi took back the wine box and started to open it. At this time, he found that the packaging of this wine box was an ordinary packaging. It was not as complicated as other packaging. It did not have the device used to prevent secondary use like other wines. It was just an ordinary box. This box is so simple. Once opened and closed, it looks the same as a brand new one. This box is not protected against piracy or subcontracting. Xiangzi was stunned for a moment, thought for a while, and then said to the camera, "This may be because the wine is not famous, so there is no need to prevent counterfeiting and theft, or maybe it is only 10 yuan a bottle, and there is no need to prevent counterfeiting." Xiangzi took her mobile phone and started to check. It was only available on the company's official website. She checked the price and saw 168 yuan. He held his phone close to the camera so that everyone could see the price. This price shouldn't be there. It's not anti-counterfeiting. Could it be that a small company is just a small company? This aspect has not been taken into consideration. It is incomprehensible. Shoko put away her phone while complaining. Opening the box, Xiangzi took out the foam on it, and then took out a spherical glass wine bottle. What a delicate and distinctive wine bottle. It's spherical. Have any of you ever seen one with this shape? Xiangzi said and put the bottle on the table. This is not easy to place, it will roll. The wine bottle was rolled back and forth with Xiangzi's hands protecting it, making a pleasant tinkling sound, and finally stopped. The design of the company's wine bottle just now is a bit weird. How to put this? There may be something in the box. Let me take a look. He picked up the box and put it aside, seeing something really inside. I stretched out my hand and took it out. It was a glass base. Xiangzi had just placed the base on the table. Perhaps the table vibrated when placing the base. The spherical wine bottle that had been stopped started to move again and rolled to the edge of the table in an instant. Xiangzi quickly reached out to take it, but he was a step too late. The wine bottle fell down, and there was a crashing sound. It's over, it must have been broken. Xiangzi patted his forehead. Hey, that's not right, that's not the sound of a wine bottle breaking. Xiangzi said, got up, walked to the other side of the table and took a look, and saw the wine bottle standing there safely. He stretched out his hands to hold the wine bottle, and suddenly let out a miserable howl. Then I saw Xiangzi return to the camera screen and said to the camera, "Let everyone see, I suffered heavy losses." I saw in the camera footage that there were a lot of cracks in the floor tiles, radiating from the center to the surroundings. It should have been caused by heavy objects hitting the middle floor tiles. Everyone in front of the screen, this is the wine bottle that just fell and smashed. The floor tiles were broken, but the wine bottle was not broken. Now let's check the wine bottle. After saying that, Xiangzi looked at the wine bottle carefully, and after confirming that there was no problem, he said again, "I'm really surprised. There are no marks on the wine bottle at all. It seems that it has not been dropped. Come and let me show it to everyone." Put the wine bottle close to the camera lens and start rotating slowly so that the audience can see all angles. I don't know if this is an accident. Fortunately, we have a box. Anyway, the floor tiles have been broken just now. If we need to replace them, I will use the bottle of wine in my hand and the broken floor tiles to test it. Then he placed it. The camera lens can capture everything. I saw Xiangzi on the screen starting to hold the bottle in front of her chest with both hands and let go. Bang! The wine bottle fell on the floor tiles. The previously cracked floor tiles were even more shattered, with small pieces flying up. There was nothing wrong with the wine bottle. Xiangzi picked it up again and checked it. There was nothing wrong with it. Xiangzi raised his hands higher and began to test again, once, twice, and 3 times. In the end, Xiangzi stood directly on the table, holding the wine bottle in her hand until it touched the ceiling of the house. Snap! The spherical wine bottle fell to the ground without any problem, but the floor tiles were already changed beyond recognition, and all this was completely recorded by the camera. Xiangzi picked up the wine bottle and checked it again. There was nothing wrong with it. She also moved closer to the camera and slowly rotated it again. There were no flaws. That's cool. There's nothing wrong with this bottle. Is this glass? Then Shoko started the crazy mode in disbelief. It was no longer a simple free fall, but a direct throw. Due to the throw, the landing point was not accurate, and it no longer landed on the broken floor tile before. but the surrounding floor tiles were broken. Shoko seemed not to notice and kept throwing. There was no problem with the bottle. In the end, Shoko might have been too excited and stopped throwing. He started to hold the bottle and hit the ground hard. The thumping sound of hitting the ground kept coming, and Shoko kept sweating and panting. The light of the camera on the side was on, recording silently. This lasted for more than 10 minutes. At this time, there was a knock on the door, and Shoko walked over and opened the door. There were several people standing at the door. One of them was wearing a security uniform of the community. A middle-aged woman among them said, "What are you doing? Are you demolishing the house or renovating it? It's so noisy." Who are you?" "I'm the owner downstairs." "How can I rest when you make such a loud noise?" "I didn't do anything. I just recorded a video. If you don't believe me, come in and take a look." Shoko led several people into the workroom before he realized the problem. "Fuck, what's going on?" Shoko entered the room and saw the broken tiles all over the floor. There were almost no intact tiles in the whole room. The people who entered the room were also shocked. Chapter 34, Evaluation of Deviation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Are you acting like a husky destroying a house? The middle-aged woman downstairs looked at Shoko with a strange look in her eyes. "No, I'm testing a wine. I just went crazy for some reason." Shoko calmed down at this time and said, covering her face. "Then you should be more careful next time. I'm going downstairs." Several people hurriedly left the room. "This guy is not crazy, right? It's not illegal for a crazy person to beat people. I can't do anything about it." The man in the security uniform who had been silent said at this time. "I won't live here for the time being. I'll stay at my son's house for 2 days." The middle-aged woman downstairs also spoke. Several people left, but everything that happened here was recorded by the camera, including the last few words said when they left. Shoko sent several people away. He also heard what he said just now, and knew that it would probably be useless to explain, so he simply didn't explain. Back in front of the camera, Shoko held the bottle and said, "There is no problem with this bottle. I just went off track. Don't mind. Let's get back to the point and continue testing." Sitting back at the table, he placed the round bottle on the square glass base. "This looks very exquisite. There is a small spherical logo floating in the bottle with the words Qingfeng on it. There is a row of 3 hollow 5-pointed stars under the name of the wine." Twisting the bottle again, Shoko said, "Does this look like a globe? And this shape is somewhat in line with the ancients' thinking, the sky is round and the earth is square. Let's open it and take a look." He opened the bottle and poured out a glass of wine. The wine is transparent and crystal clear, and the wine foam is also very good. I just took a look. The design of the mouth of this wine bottle is somewhat similar to that of Guomao. It can only go out but not in. But the outer packaging is too simple. It can be directly replaced. Guomao also has fakes. Take a small sip. It is smooth and fragrant. Take another big sip. It is very refreshing. I have never tasted this kind of wine. It is like a breeze on my face. The name of the wine is really appropriate. Then he poured another glass and poured it directly into his mouth. Refreshing. Poured another glass and poured it directly into his mouth. Delicious. Poured another glass and poured it directly into his mouth. Enjoy it. Shoko quickly came to his senses. He was still in the evaluation. His face turned red. He didn't know whether it was because of the alcohol or something else. Just now, I drank a few more glasses for the sake of accurate evaluation. Now to sum up, it is worth the money, it is more than worth the money. It is definitely a crushing product in this level, and it is definitely not bad compared with the 300 or 400 or even 400 or 500. I don't know if the merchant will send me a different wine from the usual one because of my evaluation, so for the accuracy of the evaluation, I asked my friend to place an order on their official website and bought a box, with a different address and a different recipient. Do you think I am very smart? Shoko took out another box from under the table and compared it with the previous box under the camera. Except for the different recipients and addresses, everything else is exactly the same: unboxing, displaying, pouring, and tasting again. Brothers and sisters, this wine tastes exactly the same. I was not treated specially because I was asked to review it. It seems that the merchant is still quite conscientious. I have decided to drink their wine in the future. Out of my passion for my favorite products, I have to remind them that this packaging is too simple. There will be a lot of counterfeits later. As he said that, he started to call the phone number on the official website and was quickly connected. Hello, this is Edian Wine Customer Service, employee number 0134, do you have any questions that need help? A sweet female voice came from the phone. Hello, I am your user. Your wine is very good, but your wine packaging is a bit simple. No, it should be very simple. Like you, there will definitely be a lot of counterfeit wines later. Xiangzi made suggestions to the customer service over the phone. Thank you for your love for our products. Our wine is designed to prevent counterfeiting. There will be no counterfeit wine because our wine bottles are specially designed. It is impossible to have perforated wine. Even if there are counterfeits, they are very easy to identify. Anyone who buys wine can knock and bump the wine bottle. The ones without any problems are real, and the ones with defects and cracks are counterfeit. Are you so confident? Yes, anyone who buys our wine and finds that the wine bottle has defects or cracks during testing, congratulations, you are going to make money. You can directly ask the merchant to pay 10 times the amount of the fake, or you can directly call the local industrial and commercial bureau or call our company. If you call our company, we will contact you to complete the claim, and you need to pay 1/3 of the compensation amount to our company as labor remuneration. Is this also possible? What kind of operation is this? Xiangzi said that he was doubting his life. Edian Company also planned to share the money with the people who found the counterfeits. Excuse me, sir, is there anything else I can help you with? No, thank you. After hanging up the phone, Shoko said to the camera, isn't this company's operation very alternative and cool? I didn't expect it at all. Is this wine bottle so magical? Shoko looked at the broken floor in the room and finally said with some approval. It seems to be quite magical. Well, today's review is over. If you like it, please click 3 times. Thank you. Shoko edited the entire review, basically without making any major changes, just added some subtitles and posted it on the platform. Soon, Shoko's review spread all over the internet, and this video became popular. With millions of clicks and tens of millions of clicks, this video became the most popular one of all the episodes Shoko shot. The number of viewers soared, the comments also exploded, and there were many reposts. The platform also noticed the abnormality of this video through the background. After the technical staff analyzed it, the data was normal, so they gave a big recommendation. There are really too many highlights in this video. Netizens who have watched the video were very amazed and left comments one after another. Netizen: Shoko is better than Era. He must have been Era in his previous life. Netizen: this is Era reincarnation. Netizen: neurotic Shoko hit someone online. Netizen: awesome wine bottle, not for drinking, just for this wine bottle I have to buy it to play with. Netizen: I hope the wine can be really delicious. Low alcohol wine doesn't have that taste. Netizen: awesome wine companies share money online. Netizen: it seems that I have found a way to make money. Are there any brothers who would like to join me? Netizen: I really want to send a few of these wine bottles to the Chinese national football team. What kind of football is it? Kick this wine bottle. The video became very popular. Many bloggers saw the popularity of this video and began to take advantage of it. Some of them moved this video to a certain blog, and the topic instantly became a hot search. Some people edited the video and posted it on Douyin in several sections. It instantly attracted a lot of attention on Douyin and gained a lot of fans. Some self-media also saw the opportunity to increase their fans. With so many topics, they all wanted to take advantage of the popularity and placed orders to buy wine. They started their own evaluation. some people's evaluations were relatively normal, evaluating the taste of the wine and digging out the information of the manufacturer. Some people went a little wrong. An account called Feifei takes you to see the world bought wine online and took the wine directly to the bowling alley, using the wine bottle as a bowling ball, but this wine bottle is really about the same size as a bowling ball. The wine bottle was thrown out fiercely, and the suspended balls in the wine bottle collided with each other, making a crisp and pleasant sound, and then rolled and hit each other vigorously, one after another. The wine bottles were thrown out. The high-speed camera on the side kept shooting the wine bottles in motion. In the slowed-down picture, when the wine bottle rolled quickly, the balls in the wine bottle swayed and hit the wine bottle, and the wine in the bottle splashed everywhere, which was very beautiful. At the end of the video, these wine bottles were also given a close-up, and there was no problem with the appearance. There are also many people on the internet who have posted videos of going to buy Qingfeng wine. They are all videos of people smashing the wine on the ground directly after buying it, but there is no problem with the wine bottle. The video shooter also said that he was disappointed that he didn't buy a fake after comparing the price, otherwise he could make a fortune. No one has ever expected to buy a fake, but it is completely the opposite with Qingfeng wine. There are also many people who post questions about where to buy it in physical stores. They don't want to buy it on the official website, which loses the fun of verification and the opportunity to make a small fortune. Chapter 35 Great Sales. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The company's wine sales soared and sold out quickly. A batch of 200,000 bottles was put on the shelves again immediately. Brother Sen, Director Kai just sent a message that the first batch of 200,000 bottles on the shelves have been sold out. It took a week in total. Liu Ying walked to Liu Sen with a folder and reported. There are also those who found reviews before. I am also paying attention to them. They are very popular, but they are a little biased. Liu Sen was very surprised to hear this. The popularity of the review video was expected, otherwise the first batch of products on the shelves would not be sold out in a week, but Liu Ying's tone sounded a little strange, picked up the phone and searched the internet for information related to Qingfeng wine. Although there was some information about the taste of Qingfeng wine, most of it was about the bottle. This is really off the track, but it is popular anyway, and I will definitely drink it if I buy it. It seems that this winery will soon be on the right track, but the product line is still too single, and more new products should be developed, through hard research during this period. The next generation of wine koji and enzymes have made great progress, but there is still some gap from the expected goal. However, we can launch another castrated version of the wine, priced as a low-end product, with a bottle designed to look like a bowling bottle, without a floating ball in the bottle, and also using new glass. The price is 39 yuan. This is what Liu Sen just thought of from the video of Feifei showing you the world on the internet. Netizens like to play, so I will let you play with it together. The name of the wine is Noodles, and with Qingfeng wine, it means a breeze blowing on your face, a perfect match. Liu Sen immediately asked Liu Ying to notify Kai Chongqing and asked him to communicate with Mayor Hong of Maoshan Town to expand the winery so that he could produce a castrated version of Noodles wine and prepare the next generation of high-end wine. He also notified Deng Yaluan that he could expand the sales market. Those with good sales performance and interest could go to other places to develop themselves, one province or city per person, and recruit personnel after arriving in the region. Let Deng Yaluan draw up a detailed plan and submit it to Yin Dan, who would make preliminary statistics and then report it to Liu Sen for signature. Inform Jin Shuya from the finance department to cooperate, calculate the salary and bonus plan, and transfer the money for the wine bottles to the glass factory, which also needs to expand production capacity. Liu Sen set a profit of 6 yuan per bottle for Yijian glass. Only with a profit of about 60%, the company can develop. Otherwise, all the profits will go to Yijian liquor industry, and Yijian glass will develop slowly without money. Now the market has been initially opened. With the quality reputation of Qingfeng liquor, it will continue to ferment, and sales will continue to rise. We must take advantage of the current market to open up. Online and offline are carried out at the same time, and the lack of any one is not conducive to development. The current production sales can reach a weekly turnover of about 40 million, and it is expected to reach 70 million next week. Liu Sen also arranged the glass factory to expand production there. This market needs to be quickly developed, And new varieties should be developed to maintain the current market heat. After Liu Sen arranged the work, he went to castrate the first generation of wine koji and enzymes. The goal is to make the taste worse than Qingfeng and unable to improve the taste over time, because this time it was castration simplification. The synthesis of simplified enzymes and wine yeast was completed in 2 days. At this time, Jin Shuya found Liu Sr. Mr. Liu, some of my friends want to buy a batch of wine. Hearing Jin Shuya's words, Liu Sen was quite curious. With her position in the company, it was no problem for her to need some wine. She could just find Kai Chongqing to get it. Why did she find him here? During this period, Jin Shuya's work ability was fully demonstrated and was recognized by all the staff of Edian wine industry. In this way, there would be no problem in obtaining internal purchase qualifications. After understanding, it turned out that Jin Shuya liked Qingfeng wine more, so she sent a batch to some of her friends abroad. Her friends were all met in foreign universities and internship companies. These people are highly educated and intelligent, and they all have good business minds. After tasting Qingfeng wine, it felt very good. The low degree did not have the spiciness of high-alcohol wine, and immediately found business opportunities. After letting people around her taste the Qingfeng wine of her friends, they all received unanimous praise, which further strengthened their confidence. They contacted Jin Shuya directly and expressed their desire to buy and sell in large quantities. This is why Jin Shuya found Liu Sen to communicate. After all, this involves the company's business direction. She doesn't know whether Liu Sen will agree to export Qingfeng wine now. Okay, but how much is the price? Do you have any suggestions? Liu Sen thought for a while and said, the output of Edian winery has increased rapidly because of Liu Sen's new method and new process. Although it is selling well now, it is only temporary after all. A larger market needs to be cultivated, the domestic sales network is being built, and the same is true for foreign countries. It is a good opportunity to test the waters. I don't know what the price is better. Jin Shuya knows little about the foreign market, and she doesn't drink, so she doesn't know. Try to quote a price, $29. We are responsible for domestic transportation, and they are responsible for customs declaration and foreign freight. See if you can accept it. Liu Sen is also ready to try it. After all, the interest rate earned by the US dollar is higher. But you have to tell them that this price is my export price, and they decide how much they sell it for. Jin Shuya nodded and left. When she returned home in the evening, Jin Shuya lay lazily on the sofa with her long legs curled up, and took out the phone to call her classmate in the lighthouse country. Jenny, I asked my boss about the export of Qingfeng wine you asked before. The boss said that it can be exported, but the export price is $29. The domestic transportation cost is included in this price, and the foreign shipping cost is your responsibility. As for the sales price of Qingfeng wine in the lighthouse country, we don't make any requirements. I wonder what you think. Is that so? Wait a minute. Jenny on the other side hung up the phone and informed several of his friends, who are also future partners. After discussion, they determined that there was no problem with the price. Jin Shuya didn't wait long before she received Jenny's reply. The price is fine, but the first batch will not be much, and they also need to see the market's acceptance capacity first. The first batch of orders was 1,000 boxes, a total of 6,000 bottles. Because the quantity was small, they were directly shipped by air. Time passed quickly. A few days later, Jenny in the lighthouse country received 6,000 bottles of wine and began their trial journey. The result was not much different from what they had investigated at the beginning, and it was even better. It only took a week to sell out all of them. Their price was $49, and they made a lot of money. A few people earned nearly $80,000 in a week. They were all elites, and they knew senior executives of various large companies. They also agreed with the unique taste of Xiagua wine and were particularly receptive to Taoist thoughts and stories. Once Qingfeng wine was promoted, it was hard to find a bottle. Many people even said that they could pay more as long as there was stock, and many people submitted orders. The specialness of the wine bottle also amazed many people. On the international version of the Dosho video software, many videos appeared, and there was even a rumor that a person was shot on the road and was saved by a wine bottle. Jenny and others counted the demand orders, and the result was more than 10,000 bottles. At this time, they knew it was still too conservative, so they contacted Jin Shuya directly to order another 100,000 bottles, directly by sea, because the sea transportation time was too long. Another batch of orders for 10,000 bottles were submitted, and air transportation continued. If the 10,000 bottles of air transportation were sold out this time, and the goods shipped by sea have not arrived, then another batch of wine will be shipped by air until the batch shipped by sea arrives. Chapter 36 Car Buying Ideas. You are listening at novelfold.audio. The overseas orders were reported to Liu Sen again. After seeing the relevant data, Liu Sen went straight to Jin Shuya. Shuya, you found a big customer for our company. I didn't expect such a good result, but how are you going to thank me for such a good customer? Jin Shuya sat behind the desk and said to Liu Senior, looking at the proud and elegant Jin Shuya in front of him. Liu Sen said, I must give you a big red envelope, and the company will also give you a bonus according to the standards of the sales manager. Jin Shuya couldn't help but be very moved after hearing this, because this is a lot of money, definitely $1 million. She really didn't expect that she could earn such a large sum of money just after coming here for about a month. This was earned by herself. No matter how elegant and calm she usually behaved, she was a little excited at this time and smiled. The sales bonus of Edian Wine Company is very high, especially for customers who have just started to develop. There is a high proportion of bonus for the first few orders, and it will be normal later. By the way, there is one more thing. I haven't invited you to dinner for such a long time. I will treat you at home today. Let's go together after get off work. Okay. Jin Shuya happily agreed. One reason was that she heard good news today. Another reason was that she had been to Liu Sen's house once before, but she didn't stay there. She also liked the house with complete functions and a rooftop. When it was time to get off work, Liu Sen, Liu Ying, Yin Dan and Jin Shuya drove back to their home in the city. Jin Shuya drove a BMW, while Liu Sen and the other two drove Liu Sen's car. Liu Ying drove, Yin Dan sat in the passenger seat, and Liu Sen sat in the back seat. On the road, they encountered some large cars driving very slowly. Liu Ying wanted to overtake, but the power of the car was not very good and the acceleration was too slow. Several times when she was halfway over, she saw cars coming from the opposite side, resulting in failure to overtake. Liu Sen looked at this situation and couldn't help thinking that his own car worth more than 100,000 yuan really needed to be eliminated. Jin Shuya's car was much better than his. The company is developing faster and faster, and the scale is getting bigger and bigger. We should buy some vehicles for company personnel to travel and receive. Soon we arrived at Liu Sen's house. After getting out of the elevator, Liu Ying took out a pair of new slippers and handed them to Jin Shuya. Then everyone changed and entered the door. As soon as I entered the door, I smelled a fragrance and saw Lulu busy in the kitchen. You are back. I still have a few dishes. You need to wait a while. Lulu said without looking back. Liu Ying and Yin Dan put down their things and walked into the kitchen to help cook together. Jin Shuya wanted to go in and help, but was driven out by several people. This is the first time you come to eat. You are our guest. How can we let guests help cook? Liu Sen took Jin Shuya to sit in the living room and chat about the current situation and development of the company. Regarding the current situation and development of the company, everyone is very relaxed now, because the prospects are very obvious. The sales are so good now, and there is also exclusive brewing technology. I plan to change a car, and also buy a few cars for the company's official use. Do you have any opinions? Liu Sen said what he was thinking on the road, and then asked the three women and Jin Shuya in the kitchen for their opinions. A big boss can buy Rolls-Royce and Bentley. Jin Shuya first proposed her opinion. The three women's opinions were similar, and they all had one common feature, which was that they were all foreign brands. In Liu Sen's mind, he still wanted to use domestic products. Liu Sen is now using a joint venture car. At that time, he spent more than 100,000 yuan due to economic reasons, mainly considering fewer failures and lower fuel consumption. Now that he has money, he still wants to buy domestic products to support it. On the one hand, he can set an example for himself, and employees will have a reference when buying cars in the future. After all, when the company develops, there will definitely be a lot of employees, not to mention millions, but hundreds of thousands. Another point is that his own golden fingers can modify the vehicle and obtain unlimited knowledge. Even if he does not enter this market, he can also engage in technical authorization. He can't say the reason for the purchase for the time being, he can only say that he supports domestic products. I want to buy domestic products. Liu Sen expressed his intention. The girls paused and thought about it. It was better to buy domestic cars. They were positive and energetic, and they could leave a good impression on the government when dealing with them. Which brand should we choose from among domestic cars? There are BYD, Chang'an, Wuling, Geely, and Hongqi. Jin Shuya listed all the domestic cars. Hongqi is better. This was purely a matter of picking the tallest among the short ones. After another round of screening, they finally decided to buy Hongqi, because only Hongqi was good at high-end cars. Finally, when they talked about the company's business cars, they searched for a long time but couldn't find any good domestic cars. Finally, they decided to buy both domestic and foreign cars, and decide on the vehicles to be used according to the different people they were receiving. Finally, they decided to go to Jinling to buy a car in 2 days, on the weekend. The girls also proposed to go shopping after buying the car. They had been here for a month and hadn't gone shopping yet. Liu Sen thought about it and agreed. Indeed, the 3 girls had been busy since they came. In addition to being busy with work, they also had to take care of his life. Now that everything in the company is on track, I can finally relax. I was really busy at the beginning. I can also go to Jinling to visit my brother-in-law and sister, and see how Shueju is doing. It has been a month. Some time ago, the hot pot restaurant opened, and Sister Lu Ling wanted Liu Sen to attend. Liu Sen did not go because he was too busy and had to hide his relationship with Shueju. How many people behind the scenes were found to have connections because of the opening ceremony? It's time to eat. Lu brought the last dish to the table. Ah, it's time to eat. I smelled it very fragrant when I entered the door. I have been wanting to try it for a long time. Jin Shuya stood up and said immediately after hearing this. Jin Shuya is not as serious and elegant as she is at work. She feels more intimate now. After taking a bite of the dish, Jin Shuya couldn't stop eating. She kept saying, "It's delicious, it's really delicious." While putting the dish into her mouth, the 3 girls were not surprised to see her like this. They were like this at the beginning. After eating quickly, Jin Shuya said after realizing it, "It's so delicious. I ate so much at once. I'm going to gain weight. I still want to lose weight. It's over." As she spoke, she patted her belly. Liu Sen heard what she said and saw her movements. He could not help but take a closer look. She was wearing a slim white shirt, a black skirt, and black stockings wrapped around her long legs. She looked so slender. She was still trying to lose weight. She shook her head. Women always think they are fat. After a short rest, the girls started to clean up the dishes, and Jin Shuya also went to help. Lu started to make fruit tea, while Liu Sen went into the room and changed into a set of home clothes. After coming out, he said to Jin Shuya, "Do you want to play for a while or go back now? Don't you have a rooftop here? If you stay and play for a while, will you be unwelcome? How can a big beauty like you not be welcome?" Liu Sen said with a smile after hearing this. "Inger, take Shuya to change into a set of home clothes later." "Well, okay." Lu Ying, who was cleaning up, agreed. Liu Sen's family has various household items specially prepared for guests, just in case there are guests coming to visit. Soon everyone had finished tidying up, changed into home clothes, and went to the rooftop with the fruit tea made by Lu. Chapter 37 Progress of the Milk Tea Shop. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Let's try this fruit tea together and see how it tastes. Lu looked at everyone expectantly. Are there any new products? Yin Dan was not very surprised. He asked and started drinking. Lu has been busy with Mulinson Milk Tea Shop recently, constantly developing new products, often letting them taste and give some opinions. maybe Lulu liked milk tea very much before, and now she can make it herself. She is really talented, and the new varieties she developed are very delicious. These will become Mulinsen's unique signature. These are not imitations of other stores' products but brand new, not just adding nutrition guards. The taste of milk tea did not surprise many people, but Jin Shuya was different. She did not taste Mulinsen's milk tea. She only heard that Lulu opened a milk tea shop alone before, and thought it was similar to other milk tea shops. Through this tasting, I know that the taste is so different. Jin Shuya was very surprised why Liu Sen's things are so different, and the taste is much better than the current ones on the market. These are probably business secrets. Although she was surprised, she didn't ask rashly. Although the two families are close, they have only had a short time of direct contact with each other, especially her brother Sen. The store is doing very well now. Although it has only been open for a short 10 days, it has attracted many loyal customers, who basically order 1 or 2 cups every day. In view of this situation, I plan to open a second Mulinsen milk tea shop. Lulu saw everyone's comments on milk tea and said after thinking, I think there is no problem. If the business is good, it must be expanded. Have you found the address of the next store? Liu Sen was not surprised to hear this. I have already found a place. I have seen 5 or 6 places in total, and finally decided on 2 places. The contract has been signed. Rongcheng is a small city after all, and there are still relatively few customers with consumption power. Moreover, our Mulinsen is also positioned as high-end customers, so opening 3 stores in Rongcheng is almost saturated. Lulu slowly talked about the market he had investigated recently and the final decision. 3 stores should be enough. With the experience accumulated here, we can expand outward. We will go to Jinling this weekend, and we can also inspect Jinling and look at the address of the first flagship store. Liu Sen thought for a while, and then reminded, there is another important thing, that is, to pay attention to the training of reserve personnel. The rapid expansion of milk tea shops in the later stage requires a large number of store managers. As the girls chatted, Liu Sen leaned back in his chair and looked at the night, blowing the wind, and enjoying the quiet night. Because Jin Shuya was here, he didn't swim tonight. While the girls were chatting happily, they laughed after a while and looked at Liu Sen from time to time. Liu Sen knew at a glance that they must have talked about him. His physique is 10 times that of ordinary people. If he wants to hear, he can definitely hear, but he doesn't want to. Sometimes people need a little privacy and mystery. If you want to find out everything, you will live a very tiring life. Liu Sen was lying on the chair in a daze. He seemed to see that he had opened many enterprises and many people were working in his enterprises. Everyone smiled. The country also developed rapidly after he provided a lot of technology, and directly crushed the lighthouse country on the opposite side. He got married after achieving success and fame. He had a beautiful wife by his side and lived a happy life. On the private beach he bought, his wife was running in front, and she kept looking back and calling Liu Sen to catch up with her. Liu Sen ran forward quickly, chasing his wife non-stop, and finally he caught up. He held his wife and looked at each other. Looking at the beautiful face, he was a little blurry, and he hugged his wife tightly. That feeling was so real. At this time, the wife in his arms seemed to want to leave. He immediately pulled her, and it seemed that she didn't stand firmly and fell to the ground. At this time, Liu Sen woke up suddenly, looking at Lu Ying who fell in his arms, blushing shyly. It seems that the hug in the dream just now was not fake. It turned out that Liu Sen fell asleep on the rooftop. After a while, Jin Shuya went home because it was getting late. Since the guests had left, there was no need to accompany her. Yin Dan and Lu also had work to do. Since Liu Sen fell asleep, they went downstairs to deal with work matters. The two left Lu Ying on the rooftop to take care of Lu Sr. Lu Ying waited boredly on the side, and then watched quietly on the side. Liu Sen lay on the recliner, the moonlight shone on his face, and his handsome face was even more mysterious and elegant. Lu Ying was unconsciously attracted, and she leaned closer to bend down to observe carefully. After all, this was a rare time for her and Liu Sen to be alone, and she had never seen it so closely. She was getting more and more attracted, and thinking of what Lulu had said before, the wonderful feeling of kissing, she looked at the sleeping Liu Sen and should not notice it, so she slowly leaned over. As she got closer and closer, Liu felt her heartbeat getting faster and faster. At the last moment of contact, she felt a hint of warmth in the cold, and she felt her whole body begin to feel weak. Suddenly, Liu Sen moved. Liu was frightened by Liu Sen and wanted to stand up and escape. Suddenly, Liu Sen, who was lying down, reached out and lifted her up. She lost her balance and fell directly into Liu Sen's arms. Liu Sen looked at Liu in his arms and did not let go. Instead, he looked around and saw no one else. Liu felt weak all over and had no strength to struggle. In the end, she simply stopped moving and thought about it, thinking about how to explain. She soon calmed down. Brother Sen, Sister Shuya went back. Seeing that you were asleep, she didn't call you. Yin Dan and Lu had work to do, so I went downstairs to work. They asked me to stay and take care of you. Liu said in a low voice. If Liu Sen hadn't had good hearing, he might not have heard it. Liu Sen adjusted his posture after hearing this, stood up, and glanced at Liu in front of him. Well, I know, thank you for taking care of me. Looking at the awkward atmosphere, neither of them spoke. They sat at the table again and drank the remaining milk tea. The moonlight poured on the two of them, and the surrounding environment was unusually quiet. Only the whoosh sound made by the two of them when they drank milk tea from time to time could be heard. At this moment, the weather suddenly changed, and the moon in the sky was covered by dark clouds. The sound of thunder came, and Liu was startled by the sound, and at this moment, it began to drizzle, and drops of rain fell on the faces of the two. Let's go down. Liu Sen said when he felt the raindrops falling on his face. Yeah. The inaudible answer revealed fear. Probably frightened by the thunder, Liu Sen took Liu Ying's hand and returned to the next floor. The wind and rain outside were getting stronger and stronger, with constant thunder. Raindrops hit the surface of the swimming pool, splashing circles of ripples. Chapter 40 Shopping. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Why haven't you come out yet? Haven't you dressed yet? Liu Ying approached the dressing room and asked. This is too bold. I'm embarrassed to go out. I'm afraid of being seen by others. Can you come in and help me take a look? A weak voice came from inside. After hearing Yin Dan's words, Liu Ying immediately winked at Lu, and then walked to Liu Sen together. Yin Dan is inside. You can use a man's eye to help make a reference and see if it looks good. Without waiting for Liu Sen to answer, he pushed Liu Sen to the dressing room from left to right. Alas, alas. This is not good. He didn't see other women changing clothes in the fitting room and asked a man to come in for reference. Although he said this, his body was more honest. He was gently pushed by the two women and struggled to slowly move to the door of the fitting room, and was pushed in half-heartedly. The moment Liu Sen entered, he saw a beautiful back and a pair of long legs. Because she was wearing a sling, her shoulders were exposed and very refreshing. She looked a little more energetic than Yin Dan usually. Inger, look at me, am I too much? Yin Dan thought it was Liu Ying who came in, so she turned around without any psychological preparation. As a result, she saw that it was Liu Sen standing in front of her, and she immediately blocked her hands in front of her and was about to scream. Liu Sen saw this and knew it was not good, so he stepped forward and covered Yin Dan who was about to speak. Don't scream, it was Inger who pushed me in. Liu Sen said in a low voice. Yeah. Yin Dan wanted to scream before because it was too sudden. Now she has calmed down, but her face is red as if blood is dripping. She wanted to try on this bold dress before because Liu Ying and Lu said that Liu Sen should like this kind of dress, so she wanted to try it, and she could wear it at home instead of outside. She wanted to try it out and buy it when it was good, but she definitely didn't want to wear this dress to face Liu Sen now. She was not mentally prepared, she was blushing and thinking about things now, but Liu Sen was different. He was facing away just now, but now he looked more youthful and energetic from the front. Could this be the pure jade feeling that has been talked about on the internet? Brother Sen, get out quickly. Yin Dan said to Liu Sen with a red face. She pushed Liu Sen as she said that, wanting him to go out first. Oh, okay, I'll go out now, but I still want to express my opinion. it's very beautiful." Liu Sen said his evaluation when he turned around and walked out. After all, this was the task that Lu Ying and the others gave him. A barely audible voice came into Liu Sen's ears. After leaving the fitting room, he saw several women choosing clothes on the side, but their eyes were all looking here. Liu Sen sorted out his expression, walked towards the women and said to them, "The clothes are okay." "Oh, is that so?" The women answered, but there was some disappointment in their tone. They didn't expect to come out so quickly. Just a dozen seconds before and after, Liu Sen didn't care what the girls thought, but asked, "Did you see anything you like?" "Still looking." The girls knew there was nothing to watch, so they started to look at the clothes attentively. After a while, Yin Dan walked out of the fitting room, and his clothes had been changed back to his own clothes. He didn't look at Liu Sen, but walked straight to the girls and started to discuss other clothes. As time passed, Liu Sen soon had a bunch of big and small bags in his hands. Then the girls took Liu Sen to the men's clothing store and kept pulling him to try on clothes, which made him feel like he was a ruthless clothes-trying machine. After a while, they bought a lot of clothes for him, such as suits, casual clothes, shoes and so on. After a round of shopping, although they bought a lot of clothes, they didn't spend much money, because they didn't buy those kinds of expensive luxury goods, but basically some mid-range clothes. Although Liu Sen is very rich now, the three girls didn't spend money indiscriminately. After shopping for a long time, they all took a lot of things, and finally sent all the things they bought to the car. The group took the elevator to the dining floor again, walked around and finally saw the entrance of the hot pot restaurant Shueju. This hot pot restaurant is the restaurant opened by Liu Sen's brother-in-law and sister. This time Liu Sen also wanted to see the current business situation and eat. Because they came early, there was still nearly an hour before the meal time, but Shueju was already half full. Liu Sen looked around at other restaurants around him, but there were very few people eating. Basically, there were only 2 or 3 tables with people, and the most were only 4 or 5 tables, which was far behind Shueju. It seems that the business is good. He knew that Shueju was not established for a long time, and according to the normal decoration time, it should not be completed now, but in order to speed up the time, he directly used the money ability to double the speed of the construction team. Although the store has been open for a short time, it can have so many people. It seems that the taste has indeed conquered a large number of people. The 5 people found a table and sat down, and ordered some common dishes, which are usually ordered for hot pot, including tripe, yellow throat, shrimp slips, fat beef, duck blood, bean skin and so on. When ordering, the waiter brought a few snacks, and a few minutes later the waiter brought the base of the pot, which was a xuanyang pot. While it was heating, Liu Sen and his friends went to the seasoning area and prepared their favorite dipping sauces. Liu Sen looked at all the ingredients in the seasoning area. They were no different from other hot pot restaurants. They were all common seasonings. Liu Sen directly mixed the simplest garlic sauce, chili peppers, shallots, garlic paste, soy sauce, and then put some free fruits on a plate. Back to the seat, the temperature of the pot bottom rose and the water was boiling. Put some of the ordered dishes into the hot pot, and several people ate happily. Liu Sen and Lu Ying's expressions did not change much when they ate, while Jin Shuya showed a surprised expression. It tastes good. This ingredient actually retains its original unique taste. This material should be very ordinary, nothing special. Jin Shuya looked satisfied when she ate, but still expressed his doubts. Although she was confused, her mouth and hands did not stop, and she kept rinsing the dishes. Liu Sen saw Jin Shuya's appearance and couldn't help laughing, and then looked at the guests at other tables in Shizhou, who were all eating and showing a satisfied look. Some tables that were empty when they arrived were almost full of guests in a short while. With only a few tables left empty, Liu Sen was about to start enjoying the delicious hot pot when a few little girls hurried over and sat at the table next to them. As soon as they sat down, they could hear the conversation between the little girls.